I don't know if you noticed, but I have a tooth now.
Oh, shit, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's been a persistent thing that I have had dental problems. They have been a problem since I was 8 years old, this particular tooth, and it is finally in place for good. Really stoked, but also really paranoid, because it is a surreal experience to bite into a burger and feel it everywhere except for one little bit of the arc in your mouth.
Oh, man.
Every time you do anything, you're like, did I break it? I guess I wouldn't be able, because I can't feel it, because it's a piece of porcelain in my head, but just every time I eat anything, I think I fucked up and I'm gotta go through it all again.
Jeez.
But there is one story from this escapade that I want to tell that I think you guys will get a lot out of. It involves drugs.
What?
So I know you'll enjoy it.
Sweet.
Okay, so it was sometime during the podcast's lifespan, like within the last 6 months, I had an implant put in. Basically, I had the tooth taken out because it was rotting. It looked like death. There was a little pocket of something unnatural stuck to it. That's never going to leave my brain. I remember when they pulled it, the dentist was like,
ooh, take a look at that.
to her like nurse assistant, and then they went and got a fucking camera and photographed it for like the scrapbook, I guess. Which, you know, when you're just staring up at the ceiling like, that's never what you want to hear.
It's like a barber saying, interesting.
Yeah, or like,
your disease, I get to name it.
You know, it's like you don't want to be patient zero for anything. You don't want to be in the scrapbook. After a bunch of hullabaloo, they put an implant in, which is a big metal screw hole, basically. That was in the summer. And for that, they gave me some pills to take before I got there. Some were mild, keep your blood pressure down stuff with the surgery, you know, keep you calm. And then one was pain relief. And that was a pill of, I believe, Valium.
Oh, no.
And that shit fucks you up.
Yeah.
I remember I took it, and then I was sitting in a chair, and I got up, and I tried to start walking, and then the floor rushed up at me, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'm not driving. That was a formative experience for me, because I was like, yeah, I'm pretty content not being a druggie, if this is what it's like. So fast forward to this winter break when I got the implant put in, or like the crown put on the implant, I should say. The whole hullabaloo, they wouldn't cap it for some reason, so I went to this new guy. It's a whole thing. They make you fill out this questionnaire. You know, are you pregnant? Do you have sickle cell? All this shit. Well, I get really paranoid because I don't want to fuck it up, because if you say something wrong, then they question you and it might delay your surgery, right? So I wanted to be as honest as possible. And then one of the tally boxes was, in the last 6 months, have you taken pot? No. Heroin? No. Have you taken opiates? And so I was like, well, yeah, but it was for... So I checked it, and then I wrote in the margins, like, but it was for a dentist thing. Presumably you know how that is. I figured they might understand. Yeah, so that was kind of hanging over my head as like, maybe I shouldn't have confirmed that I've had opiate. Maybe I shouldn't have written that down. That might cause more fallout than I intended, especially because they might just scan it and not read the margins. I don't know. Fill the sheet out, sit in the chair, and then I'm just like staring up at the ceiling, like just waiting for the doctor to arrive. And he comes in the room and he's like,
hey, how are you?
And I was just kind of staring off into space. So when he said that, I like jumped and I was like, oh, hey, hi. You know, like I was really caught off guard by it because I was in my own little world. And then he's like,
so, PCP.
And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And he's like,
your PCP, what about it? Or what about him?
And I was like, no, it was Valium. It was not PCP, it was Valium. And he's like, what? And so I'm like, no. Well, I'm not on acid. I'm not a fucking maniac. I was on Valium because the dentist gave it to me. It was a whole thing. I shouldn't have said it. That was stupid of me. I'm sorry for causing a ruckus. And he's like,
what the fuck are you... I'm gonna get the nurse.
And he just walks out. And I was like, what a fucking dick. How dare you come into a room and the first thing you say to me after hi is, you're on acid, right? That's so fucked. And I was just in the chair like, oh my God, why did I come here? I should have just said the dentist I was already with. And I was just like, man, what a dick. Personal care physician.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, you know what? I didn't realize that either.
Yeah.
And so... let's play that back from his perspective, shall we? He walks in a room and says hi, and I go, hi. And then he's like, so, who's your doctor? And I'm like, oh, I'm not on acid, I'm on Valium. My other dentist gave it to me. And then he just walks out of the room because he thinks he's got a fucking drugged up maniac in his operating room. Yeah, so that's how I met the guy who put this thing in my head.
Nice.
Did you hit it off after that?
Yeah. It smoothed out pretty quickly, but probably thought I was deranged for a long time. Oh, hi. Yeah, and I was also wearing like Kid A socks and a Pink Floyd shirt, which are, you know, the two most sober bands that I can think of. Yeah, I was just staring off into space. Yeah, I could have fooled me.
Yeah, that's a little rough there.
But yeah, he put the tooth in. there was a part where he's like,
This might hurt a lot.
and sure enough, it hurt a lot. It didn't stop for like 3 days, but eventually it went away.
Ooh, I hate mouth pain.
It was actually the surrounding teeth. This one is not happy it has a neighbor now, but it's mostly subsided.
Gross.
Yeah, so that's my story.
Nice.
That's disgusting.
That's pretty gross.